Anyway.
Bear with me at the start.
Alright, hello and welcome back to another episode of I've Heard It Both Ways. I'm Zach.
I'm Havs.
And this is a podcast where we push the envelope. Nah, mate, I don't know why I said I'm looking at the TV and she's got an envelope in her hand. I totally didn't think, look. I totally didn't think of what to say for this. Here it is. And this is a podcast that can stand the heat. That's a reference to the heat.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot out here.
It's hot, Zach. What is going on?
Can't complain, mate. I'll have it.
We haven't had rain for about 20 years.
It feels like it.
We're not going to be able to have showers in a bit.
Hose pipe ban, mate. Anyway, I don't have any hose pipes, so I don't know.
Where are you using your hose pipe?
I don't know what I was about to complain about. But yeah, you don't expect water to run out. That's like, it always turns my head when they're like, okay, everyone's got to use less. It's like, what if I don't use less?
Yeah, but that's those people who've got football pitches as gardens.
Exactly, and then they want to water it every day.
We don't have to worry about that, mate.
Not for a little while now.
No. All right. 2 weeks ago, France won the World Cup.
Yeah, allez les bleus.
The champagne is flowing in France. The French squad overpowering underdog Croatia 4-2 to earn their second World Cup championship.
French President Emmanuel Macron was jubilant in the stands, to say the least.
Tens of thousands of soccer fans partied well into the night along the Champs-Élysées.
Right, so it's their first time in 20 years.
Yeah.
When England went out, I wanted France to win, purely because of the mix of cultures of the players.
In the team.
Yeah, I like that, and also their second choice goalkeeper has two Filipino.
I remember this.
Two Filipino parents. I might have sent it to you and all of my friends.
Hold on, two Filipino parents.
Yeah.
Why do you say it like that? Doesn't mean.
No, so it wasn't mixed. He's like,
okay.
So he was born in France.
So okay, but he's Filipino.
He's Filipino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, he's French actually.
Yeah, and Filipino.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the whole point of my talking.
All right.
Right. A listener of ours, he's out in America, and he said. He told me about Trevor Noah's comments. If you know Trevor Noah, he's a South African comedian.
Yeah, host of The Daily Show, yeah?
Yeah, he's living out in the United States. And this is what he had to say. Let's have a listen.
Yes! Yes, I'm so excited. Africa won the World Cup. 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 I mean, look, I get it. They have to say it's the French team, but look at those guys, huh? Look at those guys. You don't get that tan by hanging out in the south of France, my friends.
Right. I know he was trying to be funny.
Yeah.
And it was a satire on, probably satire on maybe ignorant Americans who could see that, who might say, they don't look French.
Yeah.
They ain't no friends. But it got me a bit annoyed looking back what we discussed a few weeks ago about being English with different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And in some ways, these comments about not looking French backs up, those racists that we were talking about at school that used to undermine our place in British society and suggest our legitimacy and about being legitimately British. But a lot of people pointed out that, some basketball teams in America have a majority of black players.
Yeah.
And nobody questions their Americanness.
Yeah, that's a point.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. But, okay, those basketballers in America, they're not... Okay, they're obviously the descendants of, air quotes, migrants. Because they've been there for an extraordinary length of time. Yeah. When we're talking about these French footballers, they are like their parents were born elsewhere and moved over. So there is a difference between those American basketballers and these French footballers. Yeah. But yeah, just quickly in my mind, that came up, that differentiating factor.
But still, they're American and these footballers are French. Yeah. Did you hear what the French ambassador wrote?
I don't think I did.
He wrote to Trevor Noah. His name is Gerard Hod.
Okay.
Do you like the way I did that? I'm going to France next week.
Exactly. You better practice.
Yeah, exactly. He sent a letter to the show, and he said that the team, that saying that the team is African, is saying that it's denying their Frenchness, basically.
Yeah.
And the team is a reflection of France's diversity. And then Noah responded by saying that a lot of Nazis in France say black people are not French, they're African. Which is also what Noah was saying, though, right?
Yeah, all right. No, see, nothing's getting twisted. Okay, I do think I did hear what that ambassador had said. I just didn't realise who the quote was attributed to.
Yeah.
All right, Noah's going a bit too... Anyway, what's his point? So there are racist people who would do the, oh, you're black, you're not French thing, which kind of touches on what you were saying a few episodes ago.
Yeah. But then he did backtrack, and he said that he didn't want to exclude them from their Frenchness, but he wanted to include them in his Africanness.
Yeah.
Like Trevor Noah's Africanness. Which reminds me a bit of, do you remember we were talking about Jeremy Lin a few episodes ago?
Yeah.
I remember when he did well in NBA, lots of Asians, whether they were of Chinese heritage or not, they celebrated him. They cheered him on because he's an Asian doing well in the NBA now. You don't really get that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think? What was your opinion of the team? Did you see them just purely as?
I saw the game. I appreciated what they were doing. It's the France team, mate.
Yeah,
exactly. Obviously, I want to track back. Not that I want to, but I'll be interested to track back their heritage, etc. Let's not forget, in football, you sometimes have the choice of which country you're going to represent. Yeah. And look, I can understand why you might go for the more popular or successful team out of the choices that you have to play for. And I'm not going to hold that against them, but to know that they have a heritage that's linked to a specific place might give you a little boost. I know that when I see Nigerian footballers, like even if they're playing domestically, as in club football, I'm excited to see them. Like, okay, how are you doing? Like, maybe I'm going to make it to the Nigeria team. And then there's some Nigerian players who won't actually play for the Nigeria team, like Dele Alli. He's a Nigerian. And he's obviously playing for the England team. I ain't got nothing against him, but it's like, oh, look, that Nigerian kid's playing for the England team. Yeah, that's great. Look at Raheem Sterling. He's Jamaican, isn't he? Like, that Jamaican kid's playing for the England team. Not holding anything against him. Mo Farah, that Somalian kid, is running for Great Britain. Yeah, like, they're not mutually exclusive. Like, and I think we kind of touched on this a few times. I definitely see myself as Nigerian, and I definitely see myself as British. Yeah. So I could, if I didn't have this issue with my knee, I would have been a top flight footballer myself.
Could have played for all of them. You would have played for,
Exactly, and I would have been the first person to play for both England and Nigeria.
But that's the funny thing as well about the Dele Alli thing. Do you remember when Nigeria played England?
And I remember you asked me, why are they booing him?
Why are they booing him? Yeah. I sent you a text in there. Like, why are they booing him?
Basically, the Nigerians, Nigeria versus England friendly a few weeks before the World Cup started off, every time that Dele Alli touched the ball, there were like boos in the crowd. And that usually happens to like a player who's like, I don't know, who's caused some offence to the other team, isn't it? Yeah. It's like maybe they used to play for that team and they left them. Maybe they said some bad things about the other team in the press. Maybe they've done some atrocious things in their own personal life. But Dele Alli hasn't done any of that stuff, and he's a little bit too young to be caught up in any scandal.
You say that. So, do you know about his sex video?
Dele Alli?
Yeah,
I do not.
Getting blown off.
All right. That might be a whole nother episode, mate.
This is a family friendly. You Google it in your own time.
Exactly. We'll save that for I've heard it both ways after dark.
I'm trying to think of my topics for that one. No.
But yeah, so Nigerians just being spiteful, just being whatever, just booed him every time that he touched the ball. I don't know how to describe that. It's just a little bit of, I wouldn't say banter. I know it's a bit of a cop out just to describe it as banter. But if there was a Man United player who switched allegiances, he's going to get booed for a few games. Especially if he was an amazing player. and that kind of makes the pain a little bit more. I wasn't booing him. I thought that was a bit stupid to be.
And do you know, there's some people as well. There's some tweets as well that I saw where they were talking about Victor Moses, and Ihibw, and saying, "Oh, why are they playing for Nigeria when they were brought up in?"
Yeah, so this is it, mate.
You know.
You can't win. You can't win.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they were of the standard of Messi and Ronaldo, no one would complain and everyone would claim them.
Yeah.
But it's only when, well, I can't say only when, but since they're not that prolific, people come out with these kind of
Well, you
talks.
say that. You know Wilfred Zaha?
Yeah.
He played for...
Played for Man United for a bit.
Yeah, he's chosen to play for Ivory Coast.
Okay.
And Southgate was saying that he would
He would have been eligible to play for
England. And he asked him. He said, but then he said he respects that. He said no, he wants to play for Ivory Coast. I think that was where he was born, and then he grew up here. And then some people were saying, oh, I remember there was a pundit who was like, well, he just wants to get the easy route and play for Ivory Coast because he knows he'll get more caps, which is really dismissive of like that. Just saying, oh, he's not choosing England because he wants an easy way of playing more games. What's that
that's
mean?
just wrong on so many levels.
And that's an ex-footballer who said that.
But why is that the easy way? Firstly, you've got to turn up for every international game now.
Yeah.
The easy route would be to say I want to play for England and be in the C squad and never actually have to kick the ball.
It was Danny Mills who said that, and he's someone who got in the team because they had no players.
There were injuries.
Yeah, there was no players at that time.
No, you can't say that. He has the right to choose, and this just comes down to his identity and how he sees himself. And it's not even to say that he sees himself as more Ivorian than anything else. That's the team he wants to play for. Yeah. Even if he feels that he has very little connection, and this is the only thing that will make him feel more connected, that's reason enough. It's not even one thing over the other, or I feel more this than I feel that. Every man should have the choice to pick what team he's going to represent, and not to have that thrown back in their face.
Danny Mills. Right, let's talk about France for a bit, okay? Because they're my topic. The French ambassador said in his letter to Trevor Noah that France does not refer... I'm not going to do a stupid French accent, which Trevor Noah did. Okay. But France does not refer to its citizens based on their race, religion or origin.
Yeah, I heard that.
There's no hyphenated identity. Yeah. So that means you can't say, like African American. Yeah.
Or Black British. Or anything like this.
The principle is that everyone is French.
I heard that they don't even collect that data. You know, when you fill in an application form, there's always that little... You spoke about this before, that little box where they want to know about your ethnicity. Yeah. And you always think to yourself, why do you want to know? So I'm assuming in France they don't even have that box.
No, they don't. And the past French government have tried to remove the word race from its constitution. So... To make the point that it doesn't matter there, it doesn't exist. But of course, if you say it doesn't exist, that means you can't officially mention it.
Yeah,
and then of course there's racial tension in France. So to say you can't say the word race, kind of
how
like
do you then deal with
it's like in this heat wave we're having, you're not allowed to mention the word hot.
Yeah.
You're like, no, we don't believe in that.
Exactly.
No, you just have to deal with it. Exactly. And like you said, you can't collect data based on citizens' ethnic groups, so you can't determine which race is dominant in a certain area. Okay. Which means some people might say it could help to hide the fact of their... France is meant to be quite a Paris is meant to be quite a segregated place, isn't it?
Ghettoisation in Paris and places in France, and it's quite visible. I remember visiting, and you could just see a lot of ethnic people were on the outskirts, and it just did not look as nice in those areas. So probably, cynically, if you're not collecting the data that lets you know, look, all the ethnic people seem to be had. You can't see, if you don't collect the data, you can't see the patterns. So there's something a little bit worrying there. Now that I think about it a little bit longer,
and you can't bring up religion out there. So if you look at,
are you sure? Don't they have some policies against?
Well, you know the headscarf, the Muslim headscarf, that's
exactly.
banned out there.
So you can't wear the burqa.
You can't wear that. But then my friend who lives in France, he lives next to a famous church.
Yeah.
And he sees nuns wearing their habits all the time.